What's up, guys? This is Christian Brindle with Six Figure Medicare Agent. I hope this video finds you doing well. I hope you're off to a great start in the new decade in the 2020s. And I have an honor of a guest with me here today. I have Cody Askins, the legendary Cody Askins. Cody, thank you for taking some time to be with me today.
You got it, buddy. Thank you so much for having me, man. You are a rising star, and I'm happy to be on, bro. So thank you.
Hey, no one's rising faster than you, my friend. So I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a busy guy.
You got it. Happy to be on, man. Really excited about it.
For anybody that doesn't know who Cody is, Cody's got his hands dipped in everything in the industry. Cody's got, 5 companies now?
Yep, that's right.
5 companies generating millions of dollars. It seems like every time I talk to you, it's more than it was before.
That's true. Yeah, it's collectively we can just say over $500,000 a month. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And recently, we did a lead review video on Cody's leads. Knocked it out of the park. They were fantastic. We're working on another lead review video right now with another company. Won't even probably get half the score that Secure Agent Leads got. So,
dang, dude. You know what? I don't know if we can take credit though, man. I think you're just a stud. That's what I think.
Oh well. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I mean, I do what I can. Cody, for anybody that isn't familiar with your content, your YouTube channel, your companies, talk a little bit about yourself. How did you get into the business? Talk about your story. I know you made 6 figures first year. Tell the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, you got it, buddy. So I got started in the business when I was about 19 as an intern. So my dad's been in the insurance business for 30 years. He got started in the business actually running a debit route and going door to door, where he had to collect premiums every month for final expense, like physically go collect money, which is insane to me. The industry isn't that way anymore. And when I got started at 19 and I had grown up always being in sports, always being a very competitive individual. I always felt like a very driven individual. I can remember back when I was 15, 16 years old, making 5-10 grand on eBay in a summer. There was just always the entrepreneurial spirit was there. I was always a believer in myself. My father used to tell me, hey, his motto growing up was never let anyone outwork you. And I saw him go from a 700 square foot home in Wynn, Arkansas to becoming a very successful individual through the insurance industry. And so I'd always grew up around it, always been excited about it. Most people that grow up, if their parents are successful, sometimes they can be a little lazy,
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that wasn't going to be me. When I first started as an agent, my father was the one that actually gave me the most confidence early on. And he said, because you're my son, I expect you to make $100K your first year. And I haven't said that much, but I wrote out, I will earn $100,000 my first year. I was an intern for a little bit, then I became a full-time agent, and I said I will earn $100,000 this year. I signed it. My dad signed it. I dated it and put it up in the wall of my cubicle. And then every day I went about trying to make that a reality. And I was doing a lot of cold calling, a lot of door knocking. I was bringing over college kids and having call nights every Monday night. I'd give them a script and a data list and a phone and some gift cards and some cash and motivate them. And I'd call with them and some training and motivating. And we would leave there with 8, 16, 20, 24 appointments for a week. And the reason why I did that is I was in college taking 21 credit hours a semester. I was playing basketball for a little Baptist Bible college. And I was going to have tournaments, practices, games. And so I learned the insurance business without leads, 35% commission level, captive agent, no product knowledge, no sales experience, and one product, one carrier, and learned how to get in front of people. And after 8 months of grinding it out, I made $117,000 in my first 8 months and really just fell in love, spent years selling, and then December of 2015 started putting up YouTube videos just like you just started doing. And it's amazing how things have changed.
That's amazing, man. I mean, it's so unbelievable that you just came right in off the bat as a captive agent, no less, and just killed it like that. I mean, it speaks a lot to your drive, your creativity. I've noticed a lot that you're not just a driven person. You're smart, you're creative. I mean, you're able to kind of come up with ideas that, when I hear you talk about them, I'm like, I've never thought of doing it that way before, but that's really smart. Why haven't I heard that before?
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Well, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that, because I think a lot of people that are watching this will be able to relate to this. I used to tell myself 5, 6 years ago, even 4 years ago, that I wasn't very creative. And I'm a believer that whatever you tell yourself, you can literally teach yourself to believe whatever you want. And I used to teach myself that I was freaking stupid. And apparently I'm a lot more creative and more intelligent than I used to think I was. So thank you for saying that.
Hey, well, it's true. It's true. Well, Cody, let's transition over to this for a second. You say all the time that 92% of insurance agents don't make it more than 3 years in the business. They fail out of the business. This is a loaded question, and I understand that. But why do you think that is, if you had to pinpoint a couple of things?
I think that the main reason why, there's a couple reasons. I believe that the main reason is because the insurance agents don't get in front of enough people. If they're doing field sales, they should be sitting down with at least 10 appointments every single week. If they're doing phone sales, they should be talking to a minimum of so many people every week. You need to do the math. And then it's what's funny is I feel like insurance career, 92% fell. There's more millionaires in the insurance and financial services industry than any other industry in the world. But yet most people fell, and supposedly it's really tough. I believe it's actually very easy and very simple. You just got to do the work. So I talked to my team this morning about how I believe that I heard a guy named Marlon talk about this recently. I was at a couple of conferences this weekend. And I believe that everyone has desire. Everyone grew up wanting to be a celebrity, wanting to be a pro athlete, wanting to make a lot of money, wanting to be rich, wanting to help people, wanting to give to charity, wanting to do this, and this, travel the world, whatever the case may be. Everybody has desire, but very few people actually have discipline. And discipline is what separates people from being successful and not being successful. If you think about it right now, Christian, think about all the people that you think, like when you think about the most successful person in the world, who do you think about?
First person that comes to mind is probably Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, somebody like that.
Okay, good. So let's take Warren Buffett, for example. Warren Buffett reads a ton.
Yeah.
He wakes up early. He invests in his future. He takes risks. You know what I mean? He's wanting to be a better version of himself. He ain't lazy. And when I think of Jeff Bezos and Warren Buffett, I think of a couple of the most disciplined people on planet Earth. Most insurance agents lack discipline.
Agreed. And I see a lot of people that come into the business, I'm sure you do too, and they almost take it as it's going to be a side gig for them. It's going to be something they do on the weekends and that kind of thing. And I just think that approach is so wrong. I just don't think this is a part-time business.
No, I don't either. I get that question a lot. We get probably 50 questions a day, maybe 100 emails, comments, messages from insurance agents. And a lot of questions were related to how do I do this part-time, or how do I transition from part-time to full-time? And it's not that you can't, but I've never found a successful person that did anything part-time.
Yeah.
And in this business, it's hard to be really serious and all in and focused if you're only doing it part-time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think I've ever met anybody that's done really, really well not going all in, working a job during the day and doing it at the nights and that kind of thing. Maybe at the beginning, but not long term. Cody, I think let me shift gears over to this, and I think this really transitions well into this next question I have for you. I've watched you for a while, probably for at least a year and a half. Watched your stuff. It's helped. I loved it. I think it's great. You're obviously someone that values successful people quite a bit. You study a lot of successful people. You just mentioned reading a lot. I love to read. I try to read a book a week. Sometimes it takes me every 2 weeks, but I try to read as much as I can. So what, there's some people obviously that, everybody that's been successful can say that, I studied that person, I learned from that person, they had the biggest impact on me and my success. If you had to mention a couple people that you've studied over the years that have had the most impact on your own personal success, who would you say they've been?
Yeah, so I would say 3 people. The first one would have to be my father, simply because he forced me to think big before I really even knew what that meant. And seeing him bust his freaking butt and outwork everyone I know he wasn't smarter, more talented, he just outworked people. So I would say that's number 1. Number 2 would have to be Brian Tracy, because Brian Tracy, I listened to The Art of Closing the Sale every single day as a new agent. Like, I put that in my car, and I listened to those CDs back when I was 19, 20 years old, and I engrossed myself in everything related to sales. Like, I was serious about getting good at sales. And then the third one, over the last 4-5 years, I've heavily studied Grant Cardone. And I think that's, he has a way, a lot of people don't like him, but that's cool. He has a way of getting me to do things that I don't want to do, and getting me out of my comfort zone to take some risk. And most people, you can't be successful and comfortable at the same time. No successful person was always in their comfort zone. It just doesn't exist. Those two just don't match up. And I would have never started 8% Nation if I wouldn't have went to 10X2 in Vegas and paid $15,000 to sit on the front row. So I know that, and I don't say $15,000 to brag. Like, back then it was a lot of money to me. But I take bigger risks now because I took that risk. And studying him and watching him has made me think bigger and really go for it and realize I got to get more attention. Like, people think we have a lot of attention in the insurance industry. I bet that still less than, I bet only about 1 to 3% of all insurance agents in the country even know who we are, which is a massive problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fantastic. Grant Cardone's at the top of my list for sure. I've read every book that I think there's only 1 or 2 books of his I haven't read. I've gone through Cardone University. I mean, I went to his offices in Miami a couple years ago. I mean, huge impact on me myself. I mean, he was the person that inspired me to start making the podcast. Because, like you just said, he really kind of hammered home, that you need to get more attention, and you need to do whatever you can to get attention and get in front of people's eyeballs. And so I love hearing that, because he's someone that's made a huge impact on my life too.
Well, and your YouTube channel will be wildly successful one day, as long as you don't give up along the way. Right.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
I mean, there was a point where I had 100 YouTube subscribers, and I thought, you know what? What the freak am I doing this for? This is it's a ton of time. I'm getting negative comments. People are making fun of me. Why am I doing this? And the only reason why, we've got close to 13,000 agents that follow our stuff, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's freaking puny.
Yeah.
Is because we were consistent for the last 4 years and 1 month and 6 days.
Hey, well, I mean, I can't say that I've come across a YouTube channel that puts out more valuable content than you guys have. So, I mean, everybody that's watching this should be following your guys' YouTube channel. And if you're not, you're just cheating yourself, in my opinion. But so let me transition into this. Let's talk about leads for a second, Cody. Obviously, you have secure agent leads. You guys have had a very, very successful time in, reducing leads, marketing leads, and those kind of things. I've heard you say in the past that, a lot of times it's not necessarily the lead that's no good, but it's the agent isn't doing everything they can to reach those leads. And I agree with you completely on that. I love how you guys talk about strategies on how to get in touch with leads better. What are some tips you could give to an agent that maybe they ordered a batch of leads and they, maybe not seeing the results that they might have expected? What can you advise somebody like that where they can reach more of these leads? What can they be doing differently?
Yeah, so this is not going to be a popular message because I believe that the agent's more important than the lead. I personally have so much confidence in my follow-up and sales ability that I think you could give me the absolute worst leads on planet Earth, and I can get a return. Most insurance agents don't follow up. I bet about 80% of salespeople touch a lead 0 or 1 time.
Yeah.
But we know that 80% of sales are made between the 5th and 12th contact. I recommend going 12 touches, 6 calls, 3 emails, and 3 texts, all inside of the first 72 hours. 3 calls the first day, 2 calls the second day, 1 call the third day. 12 total touches inside of 72 hours. Because if 80% of sales are made between the 5th and 12th contact, I'm going to go 12 touches. Also, Harvard Business Review and InsideSales.com did a study where they worked 100,000 unique internet leads over 3 years. And what they learned is, you can find that online, what they learned is that once they went 6 calls, they had a 90% chance of contact. Now, you're not going to get a 90% chance of contact anymore nowadays. However, that's why we recommend 6 calls in the first 72 hours, because we're maximizing stats and statistics. And most agents, it's not like most agents think when they buy a lead, they're buying a sell. I mean, the definition of a lead, the true definition of a lead, and no one teaches this stuff, is that a lead is someone that has some level of interest. It may be low interest, like, well, I'm kind of curious. It may be high interest. Oh my gosh, I need that. But as an advertiser, we can't promise that it's going to be low or high. We don't know someone's heart. We don't know what they're thinking. And a lead vendor only has, I don't even feel like a lead vendor. I still don't. The only reason I do this is because people beg us to sell them. There's 2 reasons why, there's 2 things that a lead vendor has control over: what the prospect sees and who sees it. You can't say, well, here's the ad, and you meet this criteria that we want people to see ads to, but you can't respond, and you can click the button and you can't. We don't have that kind of control. So
right.
In theory, it's our job, or any vendor's job, to get an agent a lead that has some level of interest, and then it's an agent's job to turn that into money. And that's what you did so well, and I love that you documented your journey, because very few people, like, for example, you didn't ask me to say this, but one of the most popular videos we've ever put up, people remember, is we had an agent from Vegas pitch a fit, threatened all this stuff against us, and he was ticked off and wanted a refund and everything else.
Yeah.
And I did something I don't normally do. I gave the dude a refund. I shouldn't have, but I was just tired of hearing from the guy. But I said, here's what I'm going to do. I said, if I give you a refund, I'm going to call your leads live on video, and I'm going to let everybody know that this dude in Vegas, was it the leads or was it him? And
yeah,
he's like, that's fine, bro. These are horrible. Well, I got on the phone and booked like 5 appointments in the first time calling them through, put it live out on video. Cody calls a bad batch of leads. And then he was pretty upset that I did that. He said that was very unprofessional. Well, not working people that have interest and begging for a refund and then getting shown up is unprofessional.
I agree. I think I saw that video. Wasn't that relatively recently?
That one was that last year, Dylan?
Live stream on Facebook, right?
Probably 8 months. It's an ad. We run it as an ad on Facebook sometimes too.
I think I did see it, if that's the one I'm thinking of, and I loved it. I think it was great.
So. Thanks, buddy. Dude, if it had been you could have shown the dude up too, man. You know?
Hey, not as well as you, man, but I do what I can.
No.
Well, Cody, let's talk about Vegas for a second. 8% conference this year. I'm going to be there. I'm going to bring as many people from our team as I can to be there. One of my best friends is coming with me, who started in the business with me. We're going to be there. We're really excited about it, looking forward to it. But talk about it. Why should an agent take the time to go? What can they expect for the ones that are going to go? Talk about it for a sec.
Yeah, I mean, so the reason we started 8% Nation is because I was sitting at 10X2 and I thought, our industry does not have an event that I can think of that isn't carrier related, product specific, or recruiting related. And I said, we need something to where anybody in the insurance business can come together to learn valuable nuggets, to actually learn specifics on how to get serious, and it be the best networking event of the year. And so I'm proud to say that our third year is at the Palms in Vegas. We rented out an entire Pearl Theater, sick freaking theater, seats close to 2,000 people. And this time, Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street's our main headline speaker. We are good, and whether you like the guy or not, he is a different person, and the dude knows sales like anybody I've ever known. We had Grant Cardone and Ray Lewis at the first conference, Michael Irvin at the second conference. You will learn tangible nuggets. You will get a return on investment. You will build relationships that last forever. The event this year will be as strong as it's ever been, and I'm telling you, it is unbelievable. And I know that events, the main reason I love to do them is I'll go to 4 or 5 events this month alone. That's how big, and yeah, maybe I'm speaking at some of them, but I'm a massive believer in the power of events and conferences and surrounding yourself with people doing big things. Coach Burt talks about Pray Drive. My Pray Drive is activated when during a competitive opportunity, or when I get around influential people like yourself. And when I get to spend time with power players that are doing big stuff, it motivates me to go to another level. And 8% Nation is that for a lot of people.
Well, great. I mean, I haven't talked to a single person that's been to one of your guys' conferences that had anything bad to say about it. So I'm very excited. Anybody that's watching, I think you guys need to take advantage of it. You can get a ticket for, isn't the smallest level ticket less than $100, Cody? Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah. Anywhere from $97 to like $10,000. But
yeah. Well, there's no excuse for you guys not to go. I mean, it's an investment in your own success. Get around people. I mean, if there's anything that I've enjoyed doing in the last year, Cody, is getting to talk to people like you that can kind of help me learn more, help me do better, help me be better. And so I think it's going to be great. Everybody should go.
You know what's cool, and you just said something because you're a very humble individual as well. You can tell. I've personally seen your growth the last 12 months. I have, and it's been amazing to watch. But it's because you're getting around the right people, and I keep trying to get around the right people as well. And I'm telling you, nothing beats retreats, events, conferences, boot camps, and ways to network with people. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. They always say your net worth is your network. And,
right.
And well, Cody, one last question I have for you, and then we'll close this thing out. You're someone that's around lots of agents, lots of agencies. You consult for agencies. You do all kinds of work with agencies and agents of all different kind of facets of the insurance industry. Would you say that for an agent or agency that their time is better spent focusing on recruiting or personal producing themselves, or is it a mixture of the two?
I think you got to lead by example first. I'm not going to recruit someone I'm not going to go recruit and teach someone how to play croquet when I don't even know how to spell the word,
Yeah.
And I think there's too many people out there that are like recruiting before they know how to spell insurance. They can't sell it, but they're going to recruit others to sell it. And I think it puts a bad taste in my mouth, because I'm someone, and maybe not everybody's like this, but I want to be great at something before I try to help others be great at it too.
I agree with you. I mean, I didn't really put any focus on recruiting until very, very recently, because I wanted to grow a book that I could look back and say, look, guys, this is what I've done before I ever recruited anybody. And I agree with you completely. I think,
Well, I mean, the essence of recruiting and the message that you put out is you got to have something attractive. Right? Yeah. To get other people to join your opportunity, you've got to have something that's attractive to other people. And you making $600 a month, $2,000 a month ain't attractive to nobody.
Yeah. No, not at all. I agree with you completely. And I mean, you always hear the saying, those who can't do teach, and that's not the way that it should be.
Dude, I want to teach. I want to, you know what I mean? I want to get to where, I mean, I'm a big goal guy,
Yeah.
and one of the goals I write down every morning is I want to help every insurance agent in the world. And it keeps me level, keeps me humble, and keeps me focused on doing stuff like this to get our name out there, to hopefully this will benefit somebody,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it will. Cody, talk about the different companies for a second. Talk about Secure Agent Leads, Secure Agent Marketing, all the different companies. How can you guys help somebody that might be watching this out there? What do the different companies do, and how can they get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, so our main three companies are Secure Agent Leads, where we are selling life and Medicare related leads, final expense, Spanish, etc. We generate over 100,000 leads a month for agents all over the country, Puerto Rico, Australia, Canada, everywhere. We get people reach out from Pakistan wanting leads, it's everywhere. Actually, we were working with a company out of the UK, managing some leads for them at one point, just crazy. Secure Agent Marketing is a company that I've got a partner with that company, and his name is Landon McCarter. He's a marketing freak. He's I call him the Giannis Antetokounmpo of the insurance marketing. He's also 6'9".
Oh man,
he is. It's that company. We manage marketing campaigns for companies, call centers, and agents, where we build websites, SEO, Google AdWords, YouTube ads. We manage Facebook ad budgets so that individuals can get leads at cost plus a management fee. So we don't charge per lead in that model at all. And the third company is our Cody Askins brand, CA brand, which is focused on training, events, consulting. I teach people how to generate their own leads. I go to P&C agencies for 2 days and help implement some new strategies to help them build their team. And so anything training or coaching related, that goes through our CA brand. That brand's growing as fast as any brand we have the last several months. And that's probably my main passion at this point. And then we have the conference, obviously, each year. So
awesome, man. Awesome. Well, Cody, to close it out, I just had one last question for you. We were talking earlier about how, your advice is just incredibly, easy to implement, I believe. And it's very practical. It's very creative. Well, the first time I talked to you, I don't know if you remember this, you gave me some really awesome personal advice off camera, off record. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, you just started it too.
Yeah. Well, it was it was about the YouTube channel. It was about putting the podcast up on the YouTube channel.
YouTube channel and putting the podcast on YouTube and starting to do more video. That's exactly right.
Well, I remember, us having this conversation, and you're like, are you putting this on YouTube? And I was like, no, I didn't even think about it at the point. And you're like, bro, upload all of them on YouTube right now. I think we had 80 episodes at that point. And you're like, just do it all at once. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be so much work. And you're like, I know it's going to be a lot of work, but just do it. It'll 10x your views. It'll 10x your subscribers. And that's exactly what happened, and we started doing the podcast on video because of your advice. And it's just changed everything. Now we have probably, if I had to guess, maybe 4 or 5 times as many leads coming in consistently from the podcast. And I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Thank you, buddy. Dude, that's the kind of advice I love to give. I try not to give advice that I've never done. And thank you for being an implementer, bro. Like, you're disciplined enough to go do it. Most people wouldn't have done it. That's the only thing that separates people like you and the rest of people that aren't doing anything, is some people actually implement and have discipline to do it. You're an executor, you're an implementer, and most people aren't. That's the only difference in success. Some people do it, some people don't. Yeah.
Well, there's no better example than you, my friend. And thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're insanely busy. I'm flattered that you took some time to spend with us. Anybody that wants to check out Cody's YouTube channel, there's going to be a link down in the description. Go check it out. Like I said at the beginning, you're cheating yourself if you're not, if you're in the insurance industry. Cody, thank you again.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. I'm excited to get to continue to grow with you, and thank you for allowing me to be on this. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thanks so much for taking the time. Thanks so much for listening. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We want to help you get to 6 figures and above in your business. And here's to your abundance and your success going into the new decade. Take care.